Hello, my name is Hans-Peter Beggel. I'm Systems Engineer at MTS Systems, and I welcome you today in front of this high sophisticated rig at the FKFS in Stuttgart, and I have the pleasure to introduce the new MTS FlexTest Elite Performance controller family to you. We know that your testing labs are faced with emerging challenges year by year. One of the drivers for this is the evolving test complexity you are faced with. More and more active components and systems must be integrated and tested together with your mechanical components. Very often, the setup of the active components and systems takes much longer than the setup of the mechanical parts. More and more car models and options, combined with shorter product development cycles, increases the pressure on your test lab to support the required throughput testing. The requirements for increased operational safety become more and more important, and the solutions for system safety should not compromise testing efficiency too much. In order to address these and more challenges you might be faced with, MTS introduces a selection of new FlexTest controller models, purpose-engineered to help you overcome these challenges. The new FlexTest controller models are based on the very successful FlexTest family, which supports a huge variety of testing solutions. You will find thousands of sold and installed FlexTest controllers in the field, and they convince with their proven technology and high reliability, what is also mandatory to protect your precious and sometimes unique prototypes. As already outlined, the new FlexTest Elite Performance controllers are based on the industry-proven modular architecture of the existing FlexTest controllers, which scales to support any application and adapt to changing lab needs. So you can count on the big versatility of the FlexTest controller family. This comprises features like working as supervisor, multi-station application or PC per station, controller software for nearly all kinds of applications, CAE support like MATLAB or Simulink, drive servo-hydraulic systems as well as fully electrically actuated systems, and also supports smart safety technologies. The FlexTest controller family is also well known for its accuracy, which is mandatory to achieve test results of high quality. This will be achieved by numerous adaptive control techniques or the powerful calculated channels option, next to the standard control loops, which uses only one feedback. Also cascaded control loops are supported. The configuration of matrix control channels can also be done on user level. The market-leading iteration and analyzing software RPC for complex single and multi-axial testing is next to the FlexTest controller itself another contributor to a high accurate testing result. The FlexTest controller is configurable and capable to adapt to all testing needs. The 793 FlexTest software supports single and multi-station operation and provide application-specific toolsets. The EtherCAT interface was significantly evolved, and a lot of effort was put in the development in order to expand the connectivity and to improve the implementation of slaves and the configuration of the EtherCAT signals. As a result, a streamlined configuration approach was established between MTS and several EtherCAT slave suppliers, which reduces the configuration effort for the user to an absolute minimum. Next to the well-known state-of-the-art RPC software, we offer the popular MPT software, as well as the state-of-the-art test suite software for your testing needs. Special software packages are available for elastomeric testing and characterization and for damper testing. The FlexTest controller is the keystone of the integrated testing ecosystem. It controls your actuators and systems and is the home of the controller software and the various software packages. The FlexTest controller is also the heart for hybrid simulation solutions, which combines the physical and virtual world into one testing scenario. The hydromechanical components like pumps, HSMs, manifolds, valves, and actuators are also part of this ecosystem, and also the home for third-party simulation resources. And to keep the ecosystem alive, you can count and trust on the MTS service and consulting team, which is sometimes mandatory to maintain a healthy ecosystem. So, how is this ecosystem adapting to the emerging challenges you are faced with, and how can we help? The answer is our new FlexTest Elite Performance controller. We took the solid FlexTest controller platform and implanted a new, powerful processor which significantly increased the computational horsepower of the controller. The new controllers are available as FlexTest Elite Performance 60, 100 and 200 and are engineered to deliver higher channel counts, increased computational horsepower and faster system rates. If you are happy with your system rate, you can use the increased horsepower to work with more channels and signals in your configuration, or to acquire significantly more signals depending on your testing and analyzing needs. You also can use the additional horsepower to process more conditional signals or user-defined calculated signals or channels. The additional computational headroom also offers the possibility to acquire data coming from third-party measurement systems via EtherCAT, for example, and collected data time synchronized within one data stream instead of two or more data streams on different systems or in consecutive measurements. Or you decide to use the additional horsepower to supply several test stations with only one controller using the PC per station or multi-station option. The increased computational horsepower can be used to process and execute simulation models for hardware-in-the-loop applications on the processor itself. You also will benefit if you use one of the various MTS hybrid simulation and MHIL solutions in your test lab. This is mandatory to be prepared for the future challenges where more and more active systems need to be tested along with the mechanical components. The new FlexTest Elite Performance controller allows the implementation of fast and smart temposonic transducers. These smart sensors offer more signals and information compared to standard sensors, and therefore they can help to optimize test system safety, efficiency and longevity. In the case you need to have higher system clock rates, you can use the additional horsepower also to increase the clock rate and data acquisition sample rate of your system. This allows you to achieve optimal test system rates of 4096 Hz for axle test rigs and also 4096 Hz for full vehicle road simulators. Even if the very important loop delay time of the existing FlexTest controller is already very short, and therefore an increase of the clock rate would not necessarily be required, you still could use the additional horsepower to increase the clock rate and acquire data at much higher frequencies. The higher clock rate also could help to minimize challenges to connect third-party devices via Ethernet, like existing digital real force transducers. Also the effects, which could happen at digital signal transfer for non-synchronized devices, can be reduced with higher clock and sample rates. Depending on your testing needs and requirements, the higher sample rate can allow you to perform tests and measurements with higher frequency content. Especially high-responsive electrically actuated simulators can benefit from the reduced loop delay time, which results in better tuning behavior and higher stability of the control loops. This could help to reduce the time to be ready for testing. So, how does this all convert into real numbers? I will show you one example where the significantly increased computational horsepower will be visible. Let's look at the system utilization numbers of a 329 6 degree of freedom full vehicle road simulator. Here we see comparison of the existing FlexTest controller with a 7100 processor running in SMP mode and the new Elite Performance controller. We have different configurations and different sample rates illustrated. If we look at a scenario where we have 24 PID channels and a representative number of inputs, and we perform an RPC test with 100 recorded response channels, then we end up with a current FlexTest controller, in this case, at a system utilization of about 77%, which marks the maximum numbers we should operate the rig with sufficient margin. At this point, there's no chance to increase the number of control channels or recorded signals. This will end up in overruns. The new FlexTest Elite Performance controller allows us to increase the number of channels significantly. This is visible by the halved system utilization numbers. This performance gain could be used alternatively also for the increase of the system rate. What was by far not possible with the existing FlexTest controllers will now be possible. These numbers underline the increase in computational horsepower of the new FlexTest Elite Performance controller. So let's check how the new FlexTest Elite Performance controller addresses your challenges we talked about at the beginning. The expanded computational overhead and capacity for calculations or simulations, along with the synchronous connectivity, will help you to address this challenge. Check. Optimal test system rates for higher stability, together with the advanced compensator techniques and streamlined connectivity, will help you to get your test set up quicker and also executed faster. Checked. The possibility to connect smart sensor technology and advanced connectivity will help you to perform your tests more safe and more efficient. Checked. So if you want to learn how the new MTS FlexTest Elite Performance controllers can help you to meet your evolving testing challenges you are faced with, please contact your MTS representative. Thank you for watching and listening, and stay healthy.